sex since I was 8 years old. You know what they used to call me in school? Creepy Crawly.
Cruel as that may be, that is not in itself a credential.
Let me show you something. See that? That's a Crawley's dung beetle. I discovered it after spending 6 months slogging.
If you had invested $1,000 in Bitcoin when it was mentioned in the Big Bang Theory in November 2017, your investment would have grown significantly. At the time, Bitcoin traded at $10,233.60, and the $1,000 would have bought 0.097717 BTC. With Bitcoin now valued at $96,702.17, that initial investment would be worth $9,449.48. This highlights Bitcoin's substantial growth over the years and its increasing acceptance, marked by regulatory milestones like the approval of spot ETFs and growing institutional interest. If you invested $1,000 in Bitcoin when the Big Bang Theory sitcom mentioned it in 2017, here's how much you'd have now. What happened? Sheldon Cooper, one of the show's main characters, in one episode asked a DVD store clerk if they accepted Bitcoin as payment. The clerk, unfamiliar with the concept, replied it wasn't in the cash register. Sheldon explained Bitcoin as a new online currency that operates like money but exists digitally, can't be physically held, and can be mined by solving complex mathematical problems. He also warned his friends about potential tax implications if they adopted Bitcoin early. Why it matters: the year 2024 has ushered in a new era for Bitcoin and the broader cryptocurrency markets, marked by significant milestones that have reshaped the industry's trajectory. Bitcoin and Ethereum ETH/USD achieved a historic breakthrough with the approval of the first spot ETFs. This milestone represents a critical step toward regulatory acceptance, paving the way for broader institutional participation and advancing the likelihood of these digital assets evolving into global currencies. Adding to the momentum, President-elect Donald Trump has outlined bold plans to position the United States as the global leader in cryptocurrency innovation. Also read, if you invested $1,000 in Pepecoin when Elon Musk shared a meme earlier this year, here's how much you'd have today. Investing $1,000 in Bitcoin, investors who would have watched and known the show Big Bang Theory may have wanted to find out more about the leading cryptocurrency themselves and make a small investment. Bitcoin traded at $10,233.60 on November 30, 2017, when Sheldon Cooper mentioned about it. A $1,000 investment in the leading cryptocurrency could have purchased 0.097717 BTC at the time. The $1,000 investment would be worth $9,449.48 today based on a price of $96,702.17 for Bitcoin at the time of writing. Get monthly picks of the market's fastest-growing stocks. Gain your competitive edge in the markets with a steady stream of new stock ideas, expert insights, and access to proprietary data. Access our latest picks right here. Access our latest picks right here. One particular plot with Sheldon and Mary in Young Sheldon season May 7th have likely caused George's unexpected death. The Young Sheldon finale wrapped up with Sheldon's move to California for his postgraduate studies at Caltech, per the Big Bang Theory's official canon. However, before the boy genius wrapped up his childhood in Texas, it was preceded by a tragedy with the death of his dad. While the incident was long established in the Big Bang Theory, details about it were unclear, including how exactly he met his end. Young Sheldon answered that question, but it also posed a new mystery. George's death happened at the very end of Young Sheldon Season 7, Episode 12, which was essentially the show's penultimate offering. The outing was largely lighthearted and happy, with Mary's husband getting an offer for his dream job. The family was more or less supportive, which made George's sudden demise more disheartening. While his health issues had always been present in Young Sheldon, the heart attack that killed him may be something that was caused by Mary and Sheldon spending the past summer away from home and in Germany for the Boy Genius academic grant. Young Sheldon had subjected George a couple of times to a health scare. In Season 1, he was rushed to the hospital by Mary, which left the kids with Meemaw. A few years later, he also had another incident following his borderline inappropriate encounter with Brenda Sparks. Despite being a football coach, it was no secret that George had a weak heart, and while he used to indulge in unhealthy habits like drinking and binge eating, Mary was usually there to caution him. The Cooper family patriarch would be unhappy about it, but he would also obey his wife. CBS is still telling Young Sheldon Season 8's story, even after its cancellation. Young Sheldon ended with Season 7 despite its popularity. Months after its finale, CBS offers a sneak peek at what Season 8 would have looked like. With Mary gone for a whole summer and Missy left to take care of the house, George was pretty much free to lean into his unhealthy habits. During Georgie and Mandy's shotgun wedding, he was clearly out of breath as they rushed to the courthouse. Granted that everyone was running, but he was the only one who was severely struggling. It was an indication that George was in worse shape than before when his wife and son traveled to Germany for the summer. George's unhealthy habits made his health worse, but it was also exacerbated by the other stressors in his life throughout Young Sheldon Season 7. For starters, he had to deal with the whole family after the Medford tornado forced Meemaw, Georgie, and Mandy with them. Secondly, Mary's sudden desire for a kid forced George to have a vasectomy, and while it was rare that the procedure could lead to heart failure, it could have still contributed to George's health secretly deteriorating. Young Sheldon primarily played this arc for laughs, so it was easy to miss. A spin-off of the sitcom The Big Bang Theory, Young Sheldon follows the youth and coming-of-age of Sheldon Cooper during his childhood in Texas as he pursues science and academia. The show also follows his parents, siblings, and Meemaw, painting a picture of the world where Sheldon grew up. John Hartman, Kaylee Kilpatrick, Pam Cook, Julia Pace Mitchell, London Cheshire, Nick Alvarez, Mary Grill, Catherine Von Till, Grady Lee Richmond, Ava Allen, Nancy Linehan Charles, Ryan Fwong, Doc Farrow, Wyatt McClure, Matt Hobby, Reagan Reverd, Zoe Perry, Montana Jordan, Lance Barber, Steve Burns, Melissa Peterman, Danielle Pinnock, Rachel Bay Jones, Valerie Mahaffey, Brian Stepanek, Chris Wilde, Isabel May, Wendy Malick, Taylor Spreitler, Reba McEntire, Will Sasso, Jim Parsons, Ian Armitage, Bill Fagerback, McKenna Grace, Rex Lynn, Dan Bird, Emily Osment, Sarah Baker, Billy Gardell, Andrea Anders, Ed Begley Jr., Wallace Shawn, Richard Kind, Jason Alexander, Dave Foley, Craig T. Nelson, Annie Potts, Dr. Goach, Gary O'Brien, Abigail, Ira Rosenblum, Glenn, Diane, Nathan, Sam, Jake, Darlene Wilkins, Marcus Larson, Derek, Herschel Sparks, Jean Lundy, Linda Swanson, June, Kimberly, Rob, Wade, Veronica Duncan, Jana Boggs, Paige Swanson, Jim McAllister, Audrey McAllister, Cheryl Hutchins, Victoria McElroy, Evelyn Ingram, Peg, Linda Hagemeyer, Hubert Givens, Tom Peterson, Tim Gwynn, Brenda Sparks, Grant Linkletter, Wayne Wilkins, Mandy McAllister, Billy Sparks, Jeff Difford, Dale Ballard, John Sturgis, Sheldon Cooper, voice, Connie Tucker, Missy Cooper, Georgie Cooper, George Cooper, Mary Cooper, Sheldon Cooper, Robin. Young Sheldon had subjected George a couple of times to a health scare. In Season 1, he was rushed to the hospital by Mary, which left the kids with Meemaw. A few years later, he also had another incident following his borderline inappropriate encounter with Brenda Sparks. Despite being a football coach, it was no secret that George had